I don't care, right? This is us. Okay,
I know.
ready, what to do? Hey guys, welcome to Calamity Comics. This is our first podcast. I'm Gio.
I'm Malaya.
And this podcast, just from the name, we're going to be talking about comic books. We're going to talk about comic films. But, we're not only going to talk about comic book stuff. Mm-hmm. We love multiple of entertainment. So we're going to be talking about film.
All of media.
All of media. We're going to be talking about what we're talking about. So, yes, hopefully you guys like it. And if you like it, please subscribe and follow us.
Mm-hmm. We're going to be putting up some social media platforms for you guys to follow. Hopefully TikTok, Twitter, Instagram.
And we're going to do our best to post every Sunday, too.
Yes, every Sunday is going to be what we're aiming towards, to post our podcast and just content throughout the week. Yeah.
Anyway, so why don't we talk about us first? So you guys can know the stuff that we like and what we don't like.
Yeah,
okay?
Personally,
okay. So first of all, I just want to get it out. My favorite superhero is Batman. So they know. I want them to know, okay? My favorite superhero is Batman. I'm a big Batman guy. Huge, and I have a lot of opinions about certain films. I can't wait to express all that.
I can't wait to hear it.
You already know what I'm gonna say.
I already know what he has to say, but I just can't wait to hear what people have to say about what he has to say. Honestly, though, I know that there's plenty of people out there that agree with everything that he says, because especially from all of us comic book readers, it's definitely hard.
Yeah, and to give I was literally born and raised with comic book media. I grew up as a kid till now watching all the cartoons. I always wanted to read comic books as a kid, but I couldn't. I couldn't. Parents didn't really want to. My parents, not that they couldn't, they just didn't want to. There was other more important stuff to spend money on. Mm-hmm. But once I got my first job, that's when I finally started reading comic books. But I always kept in tabs with the stuff that was going on in the comic books. Thanks to Comics Explained, Comic Historian, and Variant Comics. Ever since I was a kid, I've always watched those guys, and that's why I know so much about comic books. So even though I didn't read them, I know everything about them.
Yeah.
But ever since I got a job back in senior year of high school, I started buying my own comic books.
2019.
Yep.
Right? 2019.
Yeah, 2019, and after that, been reading a lot. You can see my library. I have omnibuses over there. Yeah. I'm still getting my collection. Love comic books. Was raised in it, technically born in it, thanks to, my dad and my older brother.
Yeah.
And why don't you explain your comic book, your history in the media of entertainment.
Yeah, I was not raised like you in comic books, but he definitely introduced me to the comics. I grew up with a lot of Mario Kart and Super Mario Bros. And a lot of DS games. I played Resident Evil, and I never read comics up until around junior year of high school when we first met, 2018, and then I first read, I think, The Batman Who Laughs. What else? Mr. Miracle. But around the time, those are great comics, and they've awakened me to the comic book world, and especially not just comics, manga, anime. I never watched anime when I was little either. I was around it, I knew anime existed, but until him, then that's when we started watching a lot of comics.
Tell them what was the anime, the first anime I told you to watch. The one I was like, oh, this is a good introduction.
Okay,
anime.
so
a lot of people won't agree to this, but I just want people to know about this.
So the first introduction anime he told me, you need to watch this, was One Piece.
No.
No, what was it?
You don't remember?
Naruto?
Well, yeah, Naruto was Loki the first one, but you stopped watching Naruto.
Dragon Ball?
No, it was not.
I don't remember it.
Devilman Crybaby.
Oh, I thought you were saying the first one that you told me to watch.
And that you watched.
Devilman was the first anime that I ever watched.
You finished.
That I finished, yeah.
Your first one was technically Naruto, but you still
No,
watching
actually,
it.
that's kind of weird. Because I started off with Devilman. I also started off with Tokyo Ghoul. And I watched a lot of Naruto on, like, an illegal app. But the first one I ever finished was Devilman Crybaby on Netflix, which was great. I loved it. Amazing. But then I kind of went into the anime world after Devilman, and we watched Naruto. We watched One Piece,
Caught up.
Noragami, Evangelion, a lot. There's too much to add. But overall, did not grow up in the comic book world, did not grow up in the anime world until I met Gio in 2018.
But you grew up watching the MCU movies. So.
Yeah, MCU, definitely very big with Marvel. Every single Marvel movie that came out, I would go to watch it in theaters with my dad and my sister. And we would watch them every time they released. And then it kind of got to a point where we would just buy them on Redbox, when Redbox was popular. But
that's still a thing around, though.
Yeah, it is still. People still use Redbox.
That's still a thing around, though. So, anyways, we brought a comic book. What is your favorite comic book?
Favorite comic book? I would say Mr. Miracle, Mitch Gerard's and Tom King, great.
Tom King.
Such a heart puller. Oh my god, just everything. It really woke me up, like, heavy. Like, I teared up. I laughed. Like, everything, all the emotions. Such a great comic.
Surprisingly, Mr. Miracle is also my favorite comic book.
Yeah.
I love that one. Same thing that what she has to say. To me, Tom King was my introduction to reading comic books. Just like you. That's why I put you on the same thing as me. Because like I said, I never read comic books up until I finally got my first job. And the first comic books I got, surprisingly, was Tom King's Batman. I know that run is so divisive, but it's that saying that people say the first one is always going to be your favorite one. Mm-hmm. The first one's always going to be your favorite one. So to me, Tom King is my favorite one as of right now. But I'm currently reading Grant Morrison and Chip Zdarsky's. And Chip Zdarsky's is amazing. She hasn't read that yet. She hasn't read that yet.
Yeah.
But I'm caught up to it. It is amazing. But as of right now, Tom King's run is just... Tom King's run on Batman and his freaking Mr. Miracle. Those two was like, you know what? What a great introduction to comic books, you know? Okay, I forgot one thing. I forgot one little thing. Alright, misstep. My first comic book that I read was actually Marvel Civil War.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, my first comic book I read was Marvel Civil War.
The first one you owned also.
Spider-Man Big Time, and Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe. And then it was Long Halloween. My dad got me the Marvel ones, and my older brother got me the Long Halloween ones. Those are the first ones I've owned since before I got a job. But I'm talking about like singular issue comic books, issue comic books. But yeah, those were the two. Those were, what is that? 4. Yeah, those were the 4 comic books I've read. But I remember I couldn't really get into it. I remember I read Marvel Civil War. I forced myself to read it. I didn't even finish it. I did read Spider-Man Big Time, but I remember I wasn't really so deeply invested into it. Long Halloween, I was getting bored when I was reading it. But keep in mind, I was in middle school.
Yeah.
I was in middle school.
Like, what, 13, 12?
Yeah, I was in middle school. But I remember I was so stoked that I even though I wasn't very fond of what I was reading, I still was like so stoked that I owned comic books. But now I'm just all in. Yeah. So, and we brought up anime. What's your favorite anime?
Definitely has to be Berserk.
1997.
And then One Piece for sure. Favorite manga right now. Like, I haven't read a lot of manga, but right now I'm currently reading Claymore, and it's definitely up there with Berserk. Like Berserk and Claymore right now.
Berserk and Claymore?
Yeah.
See, my favorite anime is very difficult. But I don't have a singular favorite anime. I have 2 favorite animes. Those are my top 2 first place animes. It's Naruto and One Piece. Those are my top favorite animes of all time.
Yeah.
They're not better than each other. They're not lesser than each other. They're just they're my two favorite animes of all time. And manga is hard because I really don't really read much manga. I only read manga if the anime adaptation is not good, and if for certain like it's just not gonna be an anime adaptation.
Tragic.
You know? Like Berserk, I'm gonna continue reading Berserk when I can. I want to read Vagabond, but as of the manga I've read, I have to say Black Clover, because the Black Clover anime does not do a good job. Some episodes are good. Some 10%, I would say 20% of the episodes are good. But the rest is not good. Like
certain episodes.
Yes, it's like just a handful of episodes. So I'm just like, So that's why I read the manga instead, and I absolutely loved Black Clover. And the reason why I'm saying loved is because I haven't continued reading it in a long, long time. I want to go back into it, but I'm a type of person that I go through waves. And right now, I'm back on my comic book wave. I still follow everything that I'm into, but there's certain times when I just have this huge wave of something. I'm just like back into it, like 100%. Right now, I'm like 100% into like comic books.
Yeah.
Back to comic books. So that's what we are. Favorite comic books, both of us. Mr. Miracle by Tom King and Miss Gerard's animes. She said hers. I said mine. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about a lot of things. We're gonna talk about all those things and film. Yeah. Yes. Thank you so much. What is your favorite film? I forgot.
So film has been a very big part of our lives for a really long time. I think everyone has very big feelings for different films. When we first met, for a really long time, Interstellar was was my top. Like I was obsessed with Interstellar. At the time, I would say The Master. The Master is one of my favorite films. By PTA, Paul Thomas Anderson. Great director. He also did Magnolia, which is another one of our favorites. Not top, but definitely a great one. I would say Interstellar is still up there. Fantastic Mr. Fox. Definitely.
But your number one? Oh, you have it right there.
I don't know. I guess my number one... get back to me on that one.
Okay, my number one is... I gotta go with The Master. The Master by Paul Thomas Anderson. We watched a lot of stuff together, so yeah. But yeah, Paul Thomas Anderson, The Master, is, I would say, my favorite film of all time. I love that film.
Such a crazy experience.
Yes.
There's just so much going on, and it's just so... It's so beautiful. Beautifully shot. The music is just beautiful. Mm-hmm. We love... why can't I think of it? Joaquin Phoenix. Amazing. That was like one of my first movies with Joaquin Phoenix in it.
Really?
Yeah, like I can't think of a movie that I watched with Joaquin Phoenix in it before The Master.
Mine was The Gladiator.
Oh, see, I haven't seen The Gladiator.
You haven't seen The Gladiator?
No.
I had to watch that for my 8th grade history class.
That's actually really traumatizing. Isn't that one crazy?
No, I don't remember it being that crazy, but I remember loving the movie a lot.
Yeah, no, I can't think of a movie I had Joaquin in. For sure though, The Master's up there for both of us.
Master. All right. What about favorite comic book movie?
Comic book movie. I would say definitely Under the Red Hood.
Under the Red Hood is your favorite one?
Yeah, I love Under the Red Hood. That one's so great. Flashpoint is great. Didn't we watch Killing Joke, right? That was the one when he has Barbara.
You have not seen that one.
Which one's the one that he has Barbara?
That's the Killing Joke, but you haven't seen that one.
I thought I have.
No, you haven't.
Have I just seen a bunch of scenes?
You probably just seen a bunch of scenes.
I've just seen so many scenes of that one, like in the heart tunnel and...
Oh, the heart tunnel? He did not have Barbie. Are you talking about The Dark Knight Returns Part 2 when they're both old?
Yes. I really liked that one.
I love those movies.
I love that one. Just all the animated are personally, the Justice League, Young Justice, so great. We watched that, 3 seasons? First 3 seasons, so great. I loved it. We want to rewatch it.
Yeah, I have not seen season 4.
No, we haven't. I just loved it. Young Justice, we were obsessed. At the same time we were watching Young Justice, we were watching a lot of Doom Patrol. First season and second, right?
No, we only watched the first season, and then we just got in busy with watching other stuff when season 2 and 3
That was around the time, so like when we first met, it was comics, and then he introduced me to anime, and then that's when I started watching a lot of anime, so then we just completely dropped. Not completely dropped, but it was like, we got so like interested in the anime that was the next phase.
It's just like comic books and anime. It's just media in general. I'm pretty sure you are too. I'm the type of person that it's really hard to juggle everything at the same time.
Yeah.
Like I'm still following the comic book media. Like we were diving so really deep into anime. I already dived into it. I was just getting her into it. I was just introducing her to anime. So we're just like Naruto, One Piece. You know, you already know how people who know those animes already know how long those stuff are.
Yeah.
So we're watching that while in the background I'm just also keep tabs with MCU, DC films, but like, we weren't really watching the TV shows. We were still watching the movies, but not the TV shows, nor reading comic books because it was just like we have a lot of manga to read, we have a lot of anime episodes to watch, we have a lot of comic book movies to catch up on or watch in the movie theaters. So yeah, it's hard. So like right now, still into anime, still into manga, but right now there's been just a lot of stuff coming out in the comic book media. So we've just kind of been diving into that. So
we also have to talk about like the different phases that we were in, because there was comic books, manga, anime, and then it was back to comics, then back to anime like permanently for like a year because we were watching a lot of One Piece, and then we like had film breaks because then we were both going to school for film.
We had a film thing where we were just watching a lot of film.
Yeah, we were watching a lot of film, and it was just like it was also a weird pause too. In like a year, we were doing a lot of film, and then we were doing school and working.
Yeah. So
it just took us like a while to kind of get back into the vibe, the what we were doing. Then, more recently, I'd say like summertime 2022, it was a lot of Star Wars.
Yes.
Clone Wars.
Yes. And that wasn't really introducing you, it was just you refreshing yourself with Star Wars.
Yeah, because like I always want, like we had like, I feel like this is everyone saying, oh, I want to like get back into Star Wars, like I need to figure out, like I need to understand the story, like I've always known it existed, but I don't know half of the story, or just wanted to do a Star Wars rewatch. And so then we watched
we watched all Star Wars in chronological order. Every single one. Like we watched Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and then we watched the whole Clone Wars series, and then we watched Revenge of the Sith. So yeah, we just did all chronological order.
Yeah, just a lot of media.
Just a lot of media. Anyway, so my favorite comic book movie.
Sorry.
It's okay. My favorite comic book movie. It's hard to say because I always juggle between two. So I'm just gonna say one of my two favorite comic book movies. It's The Dark Knight by Christopher Nolan and Logan. My two favorite comic book movies. Love those movies. I would say those are my two most rewatched movies of all time. Like my favorite film. Yeah, my favorite film is The Master. But when it comes to my favorite comic book movies, like I said, because like. I'm gonna bring this up. I'm gonna say a point. I'm gonna bring this up later. Okay. Because we're gonna talk about a certain comic book movie that just came out at this date. But I'm someone who tends to separate film and comic book films. I never have seen comic book films in the same realm as films like Paul Thomas Anderson films, Martin Scorsese films. Like I always separate the two. You know, so, you know, that's why I have favorite comic book movies of all times and favorite film of all time. This is the master. Favorite comic book movies is The Dark Knight and Logan. Those two are my most rewatched films of all time. You know, so yeah, I'm gonna go into that later. So yeah, that's us. So let's talk about what are we doing currently. What have you been indulging yourself in? We're also gonna talk about video games too. We forgot to say that.
There's a lot to cover.
We forgot to say that, but yeah, what are we getting ourselves into right now? What are we into? What are we reading? What are we playing? What are we watching?
Right now, I'm currently reading a lot of different things. So are you. I'm currently reading Claymore. I'm reading Punchline. I bought the Nightwing, what is it? The Nightwing.
Volume 1 by Tom Taylor.
Volume 1, yeah. I forgot what it's called. The Batman story.
Gotham City Year 1.
Gotham City Year 1.
By Tom
also
King.
Also reading The Riddler.
By Paul Dano, which is crazy.
Which is,
the actor.
It's great. It's a really good series. I'm really enjoying it. And then currently, well, you talk about what you're currently reading.
Oh, okay. I have a bigger list. Reading first. I'm being honest. I have a bigger list. So like I said, I'm reading Chip Zdarsky Batman because that's the ongoing, currently Batman run, and I'm also reading Grant Morrison's Batman. I love Chip Zdarsky's Batman. Grant Morrison Batman. Here's the thing with me. I have a unique relationship with Grant Morrison. I know he's a goated writer. I know he has a huge fan base, but sometimes I have like a love dislike. I'm not gonna say hate. I have a love dislike when it comes to Grant Morrison writing because there's some issues that I'm just like, wow, I love this. This is my shit. This is why I love comic books. But then there's some issues where I'm just like, I ain't gonna lie. I'm just skimming through the paragraphs. I'm skimming through it, just trying to get through this issue because there's a lot of issues that I just strongly just like I don't like this. But then there's issues where I'm just like, oh, this is amazing. Like Grant Morrison hasn't really been amazing from beginning to end for me.
Yeah.
For me, that's just my personal thing, you know, because yeah, it's subjective. That's my personal thing. I still love it. Like I'm still loving his run because there's a lot of issues. I just like, wow, I love this, but there's some that I just like, But I still recommend it, you know. But right now I'm on Omnibus Volume 2 of his run.
Yeah.
I'm also reading the current Fantastic Four run, which I love it so much. I'm also reading the current Iron Man run. Right now they're on issue 2. I'm liking it so far. I just, you know, like last month I caught up to the not caught up. I finished the X-Men run with I forgot his name. Oof, it doesn't say his name. Damn, what is it? What is his current run? The House of X and Powers of X run. I forgot his name. So bad. I don't know. I can't believe I forgot his name. Hold on. This is bugging. I'll be back. We can keep this. Jonathan Hickman. There you go. Jonathan Hickman's
really
run.
Familiar name.
There's a lot of comic book writers, okay? Jonathan Hickman's X-Men run. I loved it.
Yeah.
I love that run. I haven't started the Gary Duggan run yet, you know, because I kind of, there was a lot of X-Men to read for Jonathan Hickman. So right now I'm just like kind of taking an X-Men break and going back to Batman and other stuff that I want to read. So yeah. I'm also just keeping tabs on the new Spider-Man run from Zeb Wells. We would have to get into that. A lot of people have a lot of opinions on that, and I agree with those opinions. Punisher. The Punisher run. Amazing. It's so good. Everyone's talking about it, how good it is, so I'm just going to add to it that it's really good. I can't wait for you to read it.
I can't wait to read it.
Good.
Currently, I'm going to college and working full-time, so it's been hard to sit down and read a book when you have to read a textbook or make a discussion post. Don't even get me started, but I definitely am going to get back into it on certain breaks or whenever I have a chance.
Yep. Bless you.
Thank
Bless you. So yeah, and then what are we currently watching?
Currently we are watching Sopranos.
No spoilers, please.
No spoilers, please.
No spoilers,
We'd appreciate it.
No spoilers. We're not even gonna say where we're at.
Yeah.
We're not gonna say where we're at, but yeah, we're on watching Sopranos.
It's great. We love it. We laugh. We giggle. We cringe.
It's unintentionally a very funny show.
It's unintentional. Yeah, very unintentional. Like we just like going into it. I never thought it'd be a funny show. I thought this was gonna be a very like serious, not so like scary, but like damn, you know. There is some damn moments, but. Yeah. Overall, we love it. We're going as slow as possible, though, because they're, like, hour-long episodes each.
Yeah. Well, we're getting there. We're halfway.
I'm more of, like, I just want to binge, but sometimes it's a little bit long. What else are we currently watching?
We're watching Adventure Time just for the funs of it.
Adventure Time, just kind of like a show to watch whenever we're eating breakfast.
We were watching it when it was coming back when we were kids. Mm-hmm. But you know what happens? We grew up, we stopped watching Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
So we're just watching everything that we missed.
Oh, man. Cartoon Network. Courage the Cowardly Dog. Love it. Flapjack, love it. Chowder, love it. All of them. Grew up with them. Adventure Time was one of the shows I was not allowed to watch. Like, I would, like, secretly watch Adventure Time.
Well, we're watching Adventure Time. There's some part. You know, like when Jake was like, oh, baby, I would love to have your babies.
Yeah, like, there's some crude humor. Like, there's some little things in it. You're just like, you know what the writers were thinking when they wrote that.
Yeah, regular show and Adventure Time were just on
regular show specifically.
Regular show was more, but regular show and Adventure Time, you know, we're on, like, that fine line of, like, staying in Cartoon Network and passing the line to being in Adult Swim.
Like, it's
mostly regular show.
I feel like it was mainly so that, like, adults can watch it too, which they freaking love it. That's, like, one thing. Like, I wonder if it just has to do with the nostalgia or that it's just really funny. We genuinely think it's, like, really funny. Yeah. I really enjoy it.
It's like I said, even with regular show.
We watch anime, so...
Yeah, even like I said with regular show, like, all regular show needed was for them to have curse words.
Oh, yeah.
And that's it.
Just like damn it, you know, like just like a dumb curse word.
Like that's all they needed, and then boom, Adult Swim. Because dude, there's some shit in that show. But
we're not even far enough for like Marceline and Bubblegum to have that connection. We're not even there yet. Which I know it gets a little bit like, what would you say, like Adult Swimmy. At that point.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're only currently watching Sopranos and Adventure Time.
We watched, really funny, we watched Lord of the Rings, all the way up to movie 3, but, movie 2.
Movie 3.
Movie 3, but we were halfway.
The last one.
And we just didn't finish it yet.
It's a long movie.
It's so long.
But we forgot, we watched something last night.
Last night?
Tales of the Jedi.
Yes! Oh my gosh, we binge watched Tales of the Jedi, oh my god, it was great. I teared up. Heavy. I teared up. I wanted to cry, but I just teared up. I'm not gonna really spoil it. We can always do like a spoiler review.
No, we can spoil it.
Okay, well right now, for those of you, I could throw in a time for you guys to skip to.
Yeah. If you're not looking at the screen, look at the screen. We're gonna have the time frame to skip to. Yeah. But if you don't, I mean, but at the same time,
it's
it's not really a big spoiler because we know. Everybody knows Order 66. Yeah. Everybody knows Anakin is Darth Vader.
I know, it's not that. It's just like, it was just so hard seeing, like, they did amazing on the time switches in episode 5. Mm-hmm. When they switched for Ahsoka's growing up.
Yeah.
That was really hard to watch because, like he said, I also had said it a couple months ago. I saw, like, a bunch of screenshots of, like, the episodes because it was before it had initially came out, and I saw so many people coming up with theories that Anakin unintentionally trains Ahsoka for Order 66,
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember I told him, he's like, no,
I didn't say that.
he didn't agree with it.
I didn't
And then
say
he
that.
says the same thing last night. So overall, it was hard, for sure. Seeing Rex bring Ahsoka into the room full of all the clones, and then on the dock, and then the last episode seeing Ahsoka talking with, what was his name?
Organa? Mr. Organa?
Seeing her sneak into Padme's funeral. Gosh, that was just rough. I really wish we got like one more episode with Anakin and Ahsoka, because I love some snips. I love some snips content. It's like my favorite.
Let's just hope that, I don't know if this is confirmed, but I'm not gonna act like it's confirmed. I'm just gonna say let's just hope that Hayden Christensen is in the Ahsoka show.
Yeah, I really
live action
hope.
too.
Dude, that would be insane.
Yeah.
Being able to see that like in person.
Yep.
We haven't even watched Mandalorian yet.
Yeah, we still we have a lot of we have a big list, and we have busy lives.
Yeah.
Guys. We have busy lives.
It's like we're very normal people. Everyone's busy. Everyone works. Everyone has school, or just like, but we try our best to try to watch and read and do everything we like on the, you could say, nerd side.
Yeah. So this brings me to this, which I'm gonna say this. After this, we're gonna go back to talking about Tales of the Jedi, because I have a question for you. So with this podcast, a lot of other podcasts, they're always on the know. Like, they're always in tune of what's coming out as of right now. Don't expect that from us.
Yeah.
You know, we're not gonna watch every TV show that's gonna come out. As much as we want to watch it.
That's our goal.
As much as we want to watch, like, the new Star Wars show that came out, the new Marvel show that came out, the new this and this that came out. Like she said it, we live normal lives. We are just starting. We have our own jobs, and there's other stuff that are in the back burner that we want to catch up on and also watch.
Large lists.
Like, a large list.
Too much.
A large list, you know. So that's why we're gonna talk a lot about stuff that came out before that we're just now watching, but we're also gonna talk about it with you guys and recommend it. If you haven't seen stuff that we are just now watching that came out even years ago, let's say, you know, maybe you guys, you know, hopefully we would love you guys to like the fact that you want to hear our opinions on things that came out before, things that just came out, things that we're just catching up on, or stuff that you guys also have been interested in it but haven't watched it, and you hear that we watched it, we're just like, hey, it's really good. If you haven't watched it yet, go watch it too. You know, we're just now barely watching it.
I feel like our main goal with this podcast is just to kind of conversate with some friends.
Yeah.
It's just here to talk, to tell you guys what we're watching and doing currently, and enjoying, and hoping that whoever's listening is feeling the same way, or is just looking to talk to somebody too. And we hope that we can build a really big, I guess you could say, fan base, a big group of friends that we could just all kind of talk about things that we really enjoy talking about.
And hopefully one day we can live stream these episodes and actually...
I really would love to do that.
And actually talk to people in the comment sections with our discussions that we have here. So anyways.
Yeah, that was our goal.
Back to Tales of the Jedi. What's your favorite episode out of the 6 episode show?
Favorite episode has to be episode 5.
When he's training Ahsoka?
When he's training Ahsoka, because I have this weird thing. I have this really weird thing where if it's, like, I don't know how to explain this. If it's something that is, like, if I'm watching, like, for example, when I first started watching One Piece, those episodes came out in, like, early 2000s. And then finally catching up and then watching it while it's, like, being released on Crunchyroll every Saturday. That's, like, the coolest feeling ever, because then I feel like it's so recent and, like, it's so much better watching. And so watching all of Clone Wars when it came out, whenever it came out, it was older, did not come out more recently, and then watching episode 5 with Ahsoka and Anakin, it definitely was such a cool feeling. Like, being able to see them and be like, oh, that's them currently, like, in another universe. Like, they're walking around. That's how I kind of felt. So I definitely really enjoyed that, because overall, one of my favorite things about Clone Wars is Anakin and Ahsoka.
Yeah. Yeah,
Big brother, little sister.
Yeah, my favorite thing about Star Wars is just the Clone War era. The Clone Wars era
Rex.
And the Old Republic era.
Yeah, Old Republic for sure.
Old Republic and the Clone Wars. I'm not a big fan of the original trilogy era. Mm-hmm. I'm not a big... I respect it, and I love it out of respect, but I'm not a big fan of, the Empire and Republic. Not Republic, the Empire and the Rebellion. Just the Rebellion era. I'm not a big fan of that. I'm not a big fan of the sequel era, just like everybody else.
What's it called? Rogue One.
Love Rogue One.
Rogue One's great.
Rogue One's my favorite Star Wars movie.
I really enjoyed Solo. I saw that one in theaters and I say
it's underrated. Solo's underrated.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's just funny, the story about the actual actor.
What actually was?
Because they apparently Disney was like, you're really bad at acting. We're sending you to acting school. And they sent him to acting school.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, they sent I forgot, I don't know his name. He's only in a few other movies. I only know him from Beautiful Creatures, which is a really good movie, but not like a great film. But it's a good movie because I read the book.
It's a fun movie.
It's a fun movie. Those fun
I
movies.
haven't seen it, but I'm just elaborating what she's saying.
Yeah, no, it's just I always think about that when I think of Solo because I really like Solo. It actually kind of reminds me of Pan. The actor for Hook, oh my god. This is bad. But I love Pan. It's a good story. And I don't know, just bad acting. I just think that's so funny about Solo.
Sometimes bad can be good. Because how fun it is. Mm-hmm. She's like, damn, I love this because how bad it is. It's like fun bad.
Like with Pan, like he just tries his best to be someone he's not, and it's just like, like you just physically cringe, and you're just like, but I love it. I don't know what to think.
My favorite... I gotta say my favorite episode was the last Count Dooku episode.
Yeah.
I really did like that episode.
Seeing Count Dooku rise, like, to who he is now, who we all know from the movies, like, very cool.
Yep.
Really cool.
Yep, and it's just cool that they finally explored that, because because in the movies, he just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
In the movies, comes out of nowhere, then boom, he's like a big part.
Like, all those characters, you're like, what made you this way? Like, why did you turn? Because we know why Anakin turned. Like, not necessarily, we don't really know why he turned, but there's, like, big things to lead up to it.
General Grievous is a good character, too, because,
Maul.
Darth Maul. Darth Maul's a book, but not everyone's gonna read. Mm-hmm. Same thing with General Grievous, not everyone's gonna... A lot of people don't dive into a lot of people don't go on YouTube and watch videos or
I'm one of
or
them.
Get a video, or get a book and read it. A lot of people are just gonna take with what they get on TV and movies.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but I'm gonna talk about that with the movie that just came out. But yeah, I like that Count Dooku episode a lot. The last one when he fought Yaddle, when he fought Master Yaddle, and when he finds the game.
I didn't even know Yaddle existed.
The only reason why I know Yaddle is because of Lego Star Wars.
Oh, okay.
That's the only reason why I know about that character. So yeah, it's good. If you're a fan of Star Wars and if you haven't seen Tales of the Jedi, it's an easy watch. An hour and a half, hour 20 minutes. I don't know how long it was, but it wasn't 2 hours long. I'll tell you that. Mm-hmm. Quick episodes, just it's good to watch.
Yeah, really
Star Wars fan.
It's a feel-good watch, especially for those of us who are big Clone Wars fans.
Love Clone Wars.
For sure.
I
love Clone Wars.
Just a Clone Wars saga. The Clone Wars era of Star Wars.
Yeah. Clone Wars era is the best, honestly.
Because, also that's what I grew up on.
Yeah.
A lot of us did. We grew up with the prequels trilogy. And that's another good, example of bad that is good. Those prequel movies are really bad.
I wouldn't say bad.
They're really bad, but they're really great.
What's it called? Phantom Menace?
Phantom Menace.
I really don't think that one was as bad as I thought it would be.
It could be boring for some people.
It could be. I just think the word you could say is the bad part is when they're racing and then you just see all the green screen monsters in the crowd. I just think that part was funny because you clearly see that they're just really terrible editing.
But it's not bad it's terrible and trash. It's just it wasn't made well, but it's still really fun.
What about
and good.
What's the second one?
That's our opinion with the prequel trilogy. Like it wasn't made well, but it was still great to watch.
I was trying to think about what he says in the second one, not Phantom Menace.
Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, when it literally opens up to Anakin and Obi in the almost fighting Dooku, or who was it? Was it Dooku? And he says something like,
How did the Attack of the Clones open up?
It opened up with them on like Dooku's ship or something.
No, that was Revenge of the Sith. But Attack of the Clones also had that weird dialogue between Padme and Anakin.
Yeah. Oh, there was I forgot what it was.
When it's all like
Oh, it's something about love.
It's something like, oh, I want to die.
Oh. Yeah.
And then Anakin's like, what? It's like, I want to die because how much I love you. And we're just like,
what? What's his name? Why can't I think of the creator's name?
George
Lucas.
Lucas.
What was he thinking?
I don't know.
He was on one.
He was. They shot with the first draft. You're gonna be hearing me say that a lot. They shot with the first draft. Meaning, they wrote the script. They didn't revise it. Just wrote the script. Let's shoot. You know that's what they did. That's what George Lucas did. They just, you know what? I wrote it. Let's shoot this shit right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, do you want us to revise it? Nope. Let's just shoot it and tell the actors to read it.
There's just so much to shoot. I think he just got tired.
They just shot with the first draft. That's what they did, and a lot of movies do that. And luckily, I mean, it turned out well for them. It wasn't made. It was made poorly. But a fun product was made at the end.
Oh yeah.
Because it's really fun watching
memorable products. I mean,
it's really fucking fun watching
obviously
those movies.
We know.
It's so fun, you know.
Yeah.
I can understand why people would hate it, but in my opinion, fun people are gonna have fun with those prequel movies.
Non-boring people, I
are
feel.
gonna have fun watching those bad movies.
Yeah.
So, I think that's it that we have to talk about. Not
that's it.
That's it. But just this our introduction and just random stuff that we can talk about. But let's get to the main event. As of right now, the Antman came out.
Mm-hmm.
Antman and the Wasp, Quantumania came out. The first move to Phase 5. You know, the kickoff to Phase 5, the kickoff to the Multiverse Saga, because Phase 4 was not a part of the Multiverse Saga. Phase 4 was just Marvel in that SpongeBob meme when it was just like everything was on fire and a bunch of SpongeBobs was running all over the place. That was Phase 4.
Yeah.
Phase 5, Multiverse Saga. Kang is the main catalyst of this saga, you know. So we have a lot to say about it. Who wants to go first? You want me to go first? Or do you want to go first? I have a lot to say.
Yeah, I'll go first because I mean, so when I went into the movie lately, I'd say for all of Phase 4 after Phase 3, I just went into Marvel movies with no expectations, just cause
which you should.
Yeah,
all the time.
I never did go in with an expectation. Specifically when we went in for Infinity and Endgame, we didn't know what to expect, and obviously we got some crazy shit. But but I went into it no expectations because I've been kind of meh with Marvel after Doctor Strange and
Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, that was
we watched that movie as a birthday thing for me. Yeah, we're not a fan of Multiverse of Madness, but we're talking about Ant-Man.
Yeah,
we're not gonna derail.
I'm not gonna talk about it.
We can't derail.
Anyways, so went into it. I had no expectations. I just watched the Ant-Man, first Ant-Man and Ant-Man and the Wasp. I really liked them.
Those are the only two Marvel movies you didn't watch when they were coming out.
The only ones that I never watched. I watched every Marvel movie except for those two. I think it's just Ant-Man. Nobody knows who Ant-Man is.
Ant-Man.
It's super easy. Even before Marvel came out, we knew who Captain America was and Iron Man. I never read comics, but I knew who they were because it's just the fantasy superheroes. We knew who Batman was. Yeah. But yeah, so I like Ant-Man. He's a cool character. I really love Paul Rudd. I liked the first Ant-Man. The second one was, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was for me. It wasn't the best. And then Antman Quantumania. I really liked. I don't know where to start.
Do you like the movie? Do you not like the movie?
I liked the movie. I liked it a lot. It's very different compared to what we have been getting.
Compared to Phase
Marvel.
4?
Yeah. Like, we didn't watch a lot of the Marvel shows, and I think from Phase 4 we only watched, like, Spider-Man, No Way Home. Shang-Chi.
And
Black Panther. Black Panther was from this one, though.
No, Black Panther was the ending of Phase 4.
Okay. Sorry. I didn't like how fast it started off. Like, we got, like, this kind of, like, silly Paul Rudd thing, and then his daughter Cassie gets introduced, and then, like, she randomly is just, like, ultra mega what?
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I raised my hand so you can finish your thought process.
Oh.
I was just gonna say that I agree with that. I kind of wish they stayed longer.
Yeah.
In the real world before Quantumania, because like the reason why I wish we kind of saw the other, cast, like Luis, just Scott Lang's friends.
Yeah.
Just like where he's actually at, and when they went to the quantum one, I was like, oh, I guess we're just diving right into the quantum one. Like, all right, let's get it.
Specifically with like Cassie, because this is the first time seeing Cassie at her age, and it starts off with her like, if you haven't seen it yet, don't want spoilers, skip again. Starts off with her like coming out of prison for what we know the third time.
Actually, no, we're gonna say spoilers, but let's just say you like the movie. I like the movie. I wouldn't even say that I love the movie.
Yeah.
Alright, so we like the movie. We're gonna say spoilers.
Yeah.
We're gonna say a lot of spoilers.
A lot of spoilers.
Alright. But you know it.
We're just gonna talk about the whole movie.
But yeah, okay, yeah. So go on.
Getting into the Cassie thing, she's getting out of prison for like the third time. They give her like a little pep talk in the car, and then like they get taken back to Hank's place. They're having dinner. She's calling Hank Grandpa.
I found out really out of nowhere.
Yeah, it was like she's calling him Grandpa
because Hank was also gone for 5 years.
Yeah, it was.
They were all turned to dust.
And all turned into dust. Also, what's her name? Janet. Mm-hmm. She came back before they were gone, right?
Yep. Yeah,
she only came back for a little bit. Yep, she disappeared. But again. No, Hank wasn't gone either. He stayed. The only one that was gone was Paul. Oh no, it was all of them.
Every single one of them.
I forgot that's how Wasp ended.
Scott was saved because he was in the quantum realm.
Yeah. So anyways, her calling them Grandpa and Grandma was like really weird to me. Because it shows the chemistry that they supposedly have, but we don't know.
But like they gained that chemistry off of like
after how long?
From how long? Like we don't. That's the thing. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I wish they stayed longer in the real world before they got sucked into the quantum realm, because it's just like how far is this movie's timeline from the end of Endgame? Because if it's just a year, you're telling me Cassie is calling Hank and Janet Grandpa and Grandma with just a year of knowing them.
And then she's also like a freedom fighter thing. Like she goes to prison because she's like fighting for the homeless, and then like we don't know anything about that either. Like it's very like small, but that's kind of a big detail for a character, especially Ant-Man's daughter. Like Ant-Man was just as, I guess you could say, like a rebel as now his daughter is. But then he was randomly, which is super out of character. I honestly think it's very out of character for Hank, because Hank is smart from what we know, and like he knows what he's doing. He chooses the right times to host very like crazy scientific stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not dumb. And so apparently Cassie has been making this quantum realm thing, and like Hank and like also what's her name? Wasp. What's her name?
Hope.
Hope is like super in on it. Yeah, like she's super in on it, and like no one is telling Ant-Man anything about any of this, and I just think that's the most weirdest out of character thing ever. Like super weird.
I think it's only out of character because it was unexplained.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I say like we definitely should have stayed longer in the real world before we hopped into the quantum realm.
Yeah, and also where did Cassie learn all this from? Like where did Cassie get all this smartness from? You know?
Yeah, and that's it's one of the big criticism people are giving Marvel after Endgame, because Marvel hasn't really dived deep into the consequences of the consequences of Infinity War Endgame towards the real world.
Yeah.
You know,
she kind of threw it in though.
Yeah, because we have a lot of questions about that, because Far From Home kind of just like joked over it.
But it was also because we missed the one show. It was Hawkeye. In Hawkeye, they explain a lot of like the how like they had like a big food shortage, like money, like everyone changed. There was also, I think it might have been in Miss Marvel that they had like the bandit group that was trying to get that's like little things that were spread out through the shows.
And I would also say that's another issue with Marvel, because not everyone's gonna watch the shows. I'm not gonna watch all the shows. I'm just saying straight up. As much as I'm a big comic book dude, you know, there's other stuff I'd rather watch than watching shows that are, you know, in general agreed upon that aren't that good.
As great,
that good.
Yeah.
I hear that Hawkeye's pretty good,
yeah.
but it's just like, you know, there's another show that I want to watch that I know is critically acclaimed, you know, so I'd rather watch that instead of spending time on a show that I don't even know if I want to like, or that I don't like. Like, we tried watching Moon Knight. We didn't like Moon Knight. We only watched the first 2 episodes, and I was like, I'm out. I don't care. I don't care how important this is to the story. If I don't like it, I don't like it. I'm just gonna not watch it, and then watch a YouTube video that explains to me.
Yeah.
Why it's important.
The certain parts that are important also. Yeah, no, Moon Knight was I don't know, very weird. It's just like goes into our conversation, which we can definitely talk about another time. It's just the Marvel quantity over quality.
We can talk about it now. We're talking about Marvel right now.
Yeah, so then it was just kind of like a big weird thing because we didn't know much about what had been happening in the world, and then Cassie introduces that she's like ultra mega smart, and then they get sucked into the quantum realm. And also within that time, Janet's like freaking out because, you know, Cassie made the quantum realm thing, and then nobody knows why Janet's freaking out because Janet decided not to tell them anything, which is something that I was actually personally annoyed by.
A lot of people were, but that just goes to show on my thing on like, we weren't really told the time span of this movie and Endgame, because like let's say like if it cut like, you know, if it's like 2 years after Endgame's, like Janet didn't say anything in 2 years, you know, or if it's just like 1 year after Endgame, there's a lot more other stuff to talk about aside from her being in quantum realm, because everybody was blipped and Thanos, and like there's just a lot more things that just got, you know. But like I said, it's just a lot of things weren't really explained. A lot of things weren't really explained.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I mainly just didn't like that we didn't get that much time in the real world. We didn't get to see more of who Cassie was, or maybe her build up to how she became as smart enough to build a quantum realm machine, and then just Janet not telling anyone about what went on in the quantum realm. And then they get sucked into the quantum realm, and everyone kind of gets separated, and Janet is like with Hope and Hank, and she's telling them to like protect themselves from whatever was, you know, flying in the sky, and they're trying to figure out what's going on, and she just won't budge. Like, she won't say anything. And that was still annoying me because she had plenty of time to say, you know, like, just a quick little summary of what's down here. Oh, there's evil people. Oh, there's a revolution. Like, it's just, it could have been so easy. Like,
they could have introduced Kang really early on, and the movie could have, like, kicked the fuck off right away. Like, oh, like as soon as they got stuck in the quantum realm, Janet would have been like, "Yo, we're screwed." It's like, why? Because someone's in here. It's like because I trapped someone in here.
Yeah.
It's like, who did you trap in here? And then boom, that's when we get the, like, as soon as we're in the quantum realm, we see how crazy the quantum realm is. Like, whoa, this is crazy. And then we cut to Janet and them, and Janet's freaking out. So, oh, I trapped someone in here.
Yeah.
And they're like, who do you trap in here? Okay, I'm finally gonna tell you guys. And then that's when we get that Kang flashback. And then boom, Kang is introduced right away. Boom, like, it's, there's a lot of stuff that they could have done differently to make this movie, you know, better. I still love the movie because how
it
fun.
was really cool.
Because I had a lot of fun in this movie.
Yeah, especially in the quantum realm, like seeing the different like biomes of like what was down below and just how everything looked. Like it was really cool to see.
Yeah, like I had a lot of fun. I had a shit ton of fun with this movie. But if you want to be a critic, yeah, there's a crap load of wrong in this movie. There's a lot of wrong in this movie if you want to be a critic.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be a critic, there's a lot of wrong. But, you know, you can have a lot of fun with this movie if you choose to be fun. It honestly just depends. When you buy your ticket, think about what you want to be. You want to have fun? Buy the ticket. If you want to be a critic, don't buy the ticket because you're not going to like the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot that I really liked about it and then that I didn't like. My number one thing that I really enjoyed was Kang and the actor who acted as Kang. I think he portrayed Kang really well, and I felt like this menacing energy from him.
This is also your first introduction to
Yeah,
Kang.
like I only knew of Kang just through like comics and like I've never read something with Kang in it, but I've just known of who Kang is and just like what he can do, and it was just really cool seeing him because I don't know,
he stole the movie.
Yeah, he definitely stole the movie. I really enjoyed Janet and Kang's little backstory of how
Yes, it was really good.
Really
Not that many
cool.
people are talking about that backstory.
No, that
it was
backstory,
so good.
I think it was a really cool like sequence. Like there was like a lot going on. It was like kind of perfectly like told. Like the story was perfectly told right there. And then just like seeing Kang when Janet reads Kang's mind, and
that was scary.
It was scary for sure. Like when she
and
let
the
go
way
of
they
the
acted, it was so good.
He,
That's what I'm
like-
saying. Like they should have put that backstory in the
beginning or something.
Not
like
a couple minutes after they're in the quantum realm.
like should have been like, okay, really quick, let me tell you what happened.
This is why I'm tripping out right now because I trapped someone in here. Then boom, cut to give us that flashback.
Yeah.
Boom, we know about Kang. We know why they need to get the hell out of there because it takes a
It just
really
could have been
long time.
so easy.
It takes a really long time.
I don't really like what's his name? Tom Hanks. That's his name.
Tom Hanks.
What's his name? The one that was in it.
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray. I don't like Bill Murray personally as an actor or a person, but I didn't really like his character.
His character was pointless.
Yes.
Well, not really pointless.
It wasn't pointless. It
Anybody
was
could have
like,
acted that. I don't know why they got Bill Murray. Anybody
I
could
don't
have
know, yeah.
could have been in that role.
I would have liked
Anybody
to
could've-
see
Anybody could have done that role.
Taika Waititi. I would have liked him. That would have been cool.
Hey, like I said, anybody could have taken that role. Anybody.
I didn't really like his character. I thought it was just like really like goofy how they like he immediately like was like, okay, we're coming to get you, like we're giving you to Kang. I really liked. It was funny when Hank and Janet exchanged that they both been seeing different people.
That was so funny.
That was funny. Like seeing
was
Hank,
funny.
he's like, yeah, it didn't work out. Like I was like, okay.
And it was all like, why didn't it work out? Because it wasn't you.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, that's some deep
Yeah, it
shit.
was cool. But then, like, with all the Kang stuff, it was cool. If the ants were not there, I don't think they would have beat Kang.
Oh, hell no.
Hell
no.
I honestly didn't like that they beat Kang. We don't know if they actually beat.
No, I don't think they beat Kang.
I don't think so either.
They did beat him, but, like, he wasn't even at his full power.
No.
His chair wasn't even, like, his chair wasn't, fully functional. The only thing that was functioning was like his suit, like he wasn't at full power because Kang is a beast. He is very dangerous. He basically has his power. Basically, just the time stone. That's him. His power is the time stone. He's very powerful. Like and in the Avengers Mightiest Hero TV show. If I remember correctly, because I haven't seen that TV show since I was a kid, and I want to rewatch it because that show is amazing. It's an amazing show. It's so good. He just tears down the Avengers so easily, and like he sends them to like multiple timelines. Like,
even how like in the movie he says how like, oh, you're an Avenger, have I killed you? Like, oh gosh.
Yeah. And he's just not at full power. He's not at full power.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I've never like it was kind of like those things where it's like a baseball movie and then like the team like loses the whole movie and then wins the final game. You know, it's like kind of like that. Like I don't really like when movies are like that. We all know it's not that easy to beat Kang. Like, not even knowing him through comics, you just know he's just as hard as Thanos was. Like, he's just as hard as, like, any supervillain is. You can't just, like, put him in handcuffs and then put him in a cell. Like, it's not that hard.
Yeah, and that's the thing that a lot of people need to understand, because a lot of people are coming out saying that, because, like I said, automatically, this is what I have to say. Kevin Feige messed up on announcing that Kang is the main bad guy right away. Because we didn't know Thanos was the main bad guy. Thanos was going to be the main bad guy in Phase 1. We didn't know that. We didn't know that at all.
That's
and we also didn't even, and when we see Thanos at the end credit scene of the first Avengers, we didn't know it was going to take us 10 years to even see him be the main bad guy.
Oh my god, you just brought up that memory. I can't believe that.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
We just always, wow.
We just always like,
I always thought it was just that alien guy sitting on a chair in space. Like, I never thought that was, like, gonna be someone, like, obviously, if it's an end credit scene, you know he's gonna be, like, important in some way, but, like, I completely forgot that it was, like, a really long span of time until we actually got him. Wow. That's shocking.
You know, so and that's why Thanos works so well. That's why Thanos works so well, because, I mean, we had no expectations about him. But now that Thanos was finished, and right after Thanos, you know, Kevin Feige was gonna walk up in his hat, saying, like, oh, Thanos, Kang is the next Thanos. Now everybody's gonna automatically compare Kang to Thanos in the first movie.
That's kind of what...
And the first movie that he's in is him getting semi-defeated by Antman. And that's why a lot of people are trashing on Antman, because they're just, like, comparing it to Thanos. But, like, that wouldn't have been the case if Kevin Feige kept his mouth shut about saying that Kang is the main bad guy.
Yeah.
Because in a different timeline, let's say Kevin Feige never said that Kang is the main bad guy, which is like, okay, you guys, you know, a lot of people would be like, okay, let's go watch this new Antman movie. Fuck it, let's go watch this new Antman movie. Us comic book fans would be like, yo, Kang is the main bad guy. Antman, that's weird. Why is Kang the main? But let's watch it because Kang is cool. And then we watch because Kang is cool.
Like, kind of like the placebo effect, I feel like.
Yeah, and it would happen exactly like the first Avengers. You want to know why? Because we all go watch Ant-Man, because, you know, 70% of America love the MCU now. We go watch Ant-Man. Normal people would just come out of the movie like, okay, that was a whatever movie. It was fucking Ant-Man. It was Ant-Man. The main villain was cool. Whatever. You know, the after credit scene, you know, doesn't really make sense to me. And then us comic book fans that read the comic books and know who the fuck Kang is, we would be like, yo, this is crazy. Kang is the main villain. Like, Kang, like, we're gonna get to, like, Kang later on. That's insane. And then us comic book fans would have the job again to hype normal people up about Kang and explain to them, like, yo, that's not the last time we're gonna see Kang, because there's other variants of Kang, blah blah blah. Just like what happened with Thanos, when normal people got out of the theaters of Avengers. Oh, that was a cool movie. Don't really understand what that alien guy in the end was. And so as comic book fans explain to the normal people what Thanos is, and people were like, damn, that's really crazy. When is that going to happen? It was like, we don't know when that's going to happen. We just got to stay tuned. And now people are going to be hyped about Kang just like people were hyped about Thanos. So that's why Kevin Feige fucked up by saying Kang is the next Thanos, because now normal people that don't know anything about comic books are going to compare Kang to Thanos.
Yeah, that all kind of ties into what we were talking about.
I'm saying a lot. I need to drink I need to drink something, but continue on listening.
Can I actually have some too? I actually think that something that we kept seeing was just like a lot of people criticizing the movie and a lot of critics just like, you know, treating it like a film, like it's supposed to be for adults. But in general, Marvel was never just for adults.
If you think about it, thanks for bringing that up. This is one I'm gonna be talking a lot. I'm sorry, but if you think about it, people, I told you this, you know, before. I think, and I love this because I already said it already. 70% of America love the MCU, and a lot of that 70, and I would say like 30% of that are comic book fans.
Yeah.
I think.
Not even 30. I'd say 50. I say there's a lot of people that read comics.
No.
A lot of you guys, yeah.
But there's a lot of normal people that watch MCU movies
yeah.
that are just watching because they're fun and like, you know, Endgame. Because I think because of Phase 4, and I think it's going to continue in Phase 5, I think the MCU is going to go back to how it was. The audience of the MCU is going to go back to how it was pre-Endgame and Infinity War. Because pre-Endgame and Infinity War, the people who went to go watch the MCU movies were kids and comic book fans.
Yeah.
You know?
We were like 11 when Avengers came out.
Yeah, but we were kids.
Like
you know,
kids.
we were kids, and that's why we were crazy about it. And also, you know, for comic book fans, doesn't matter how old they are, they love comic books. They're gonna watch it because they're gonna freaking see, you know, the stuff that they're reading in live action. You know, so no matter what, they're gonna have fun with it. But then Endgame came out, and then Infinity War and Endgame came out. We couldn't shut up about it, and that's when, you know, 70% of America hopped on.
Yeah.
You know, 70% of America hopped on.
I think it was also like the hype train till it came out. Like we were all really hyped for, you know, Infinity War, because like we never gotten something like that. I'd say the last time something felt like that was like maybe Civil War, but not as crazy. Like it was just kind of like, oh, Civil War, like that's like new for Marvel. But then Infinity War, like we knew.
All of America hopped on Marvel after that.
Yeah,
once
like,
Infinity War was announced, and like not even once the trailer came out, all of America hopped on that. They all hopped on that. They all, a whole bunch of people watched all the MCU.
Especially
without even watching the cartoons, without even watching the older movies, without even watching, you know, without even reading comic books. Like, they just all hopped on it because, like, I mean, it's a big deal in film history. At the end of the day, the MCU, what Infinity War and Endgame did, it is film history.
You're also missing
the
biggest thing when Disney bought Marvel.
Oh, yeah. No, but, like, even then, like I said, before Infinity War, the audience and the MCU was just kids and comic book nerds, comic book geeks. Doesn't matter how old they are, you know what I mean? And now, you know, now that all of America is a fan of Marvel and the MCU,
there's a lot of high expectations.
Yeah, and there's a lot of high expectations of people who have high expectations that don't really understand what the MCU really is and what was the whole purpose of it and what is it, who is it actually for. And also, I think Kevin Feige and Marvel also confused about that because they didn't even know how to juggle that, how to even deal with that, because now they got, you know, now they can't, they're not only feeding to, you know, kids and the comic book nerds. Now they're just like, oh shit, now we got to have like a whole bunch of people that don't know anything, you know, who are into this. It's just a lot. Like, it's a weird situation.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of happy, you know, if this continues, I'm honestly going to be kind of happy of the you know, the angle of like a lot of people just, I don't want to say, I guess you could say fake fans. It's not really fake fans because they're fans of what the MCU did. I think that's the thing. A lot of people who are hating on Phase 4 and hating on Antman, they're also just fans of the idea of what the MCU did. You know, which is Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah.
And once that ended and they're trying to stay with the MCU because of the idea of Infinity War Endgame. They're noticing as films, talking about like as films, you know, referencing Martin Scorsese films, Marvel films are really mediocre compared to those. But we don't mind it because we fucking love comic books.
Yeah.
We love comic books. You know, when I go to a Marvel movie, even from the beginning, I never ever expected a Oscar-worthy film.
No.
I only bought every time I bought a ticket, every time I got a ticket for the MCU, all I wanted was like, all I had and still have is the excitement of watching and experiencing the things I grew up with, the cartoons I grew up with, the comic books I'm reading in live action. That's all I wanted, and I get that, and I have fun with it. You know, sometimes there's comic book movies that are Oscar worthy, like Logan, The Dark Knight, The Joker, and
Dark Knight, Joker.
I have a complicated relationship with this movie, but The Batman.
Yeah.
You know,
I'd say the shots are really nice.
Yeah,
beautiful.
but like a lot of normal people need to stop going to these Marvel movies expecting to get those products, because since phase 1 till now, Marvel has never made an Oscar-worthy film. When I say Marvel, I'm talking about movies that are made by Marvel, not movies that are made by Sony, not movies that are made by Fox, because that's different, because Into the Spider-Verse was made by Sony.
Beautiful.
Logan, Deadpool, Days of Future Past was made by Fox. They weren't made by Marvel. Okay?
Also, Justice League Snyder Cut.
Yeah, and that's just, and also a lot of people are gonna bring up Spider-Man 2. Mm-hmm. Spider-Man 2 wasn't made by Marvel. Spider-Man 2 was made by Sony. Mm-hmm. All right.
And the Amazing Spider-Man.
And like I'm saying, it's fine. It's completely okay wanting to get movies, comic book movies, in those caliber at those caliber. I would love those movies too. But you can't expect every movie to be like that. Mm-hmm. If you want it to be like that, then shit, you know, good luck. We're gonna get, if you want it, if you want every single MCU movie to be on some fucking Logan shit, we would never get an Infinity War. We would never get an Endgame. We would never get a Secret Wars. You wanna know why? Because it takes a long time to make those movies. It takes a long time to make Oscar-worthy movies. And when it takes a long time, people age, actors age, we age. It wouldn't be possible.
Yeah.
You know, and Marvel's quantity over quality is their double-edged sword. Mm-hmm. Because they're able to tell stories that wouldn't be possible to tell in film. Yeah. But at the cost of making an Oscar-worthy caliber films. Yeah. Endgame and Infinity War are not Oscar-worthy movies. Mm-mm. They're not, but we love them. We love those movies because how fun it is, and they're entertaining, and it's just the experience. It's so fun and so amazing. It's so crazy that this is happening, you know. So no matter what, MCU movies are always gonna have flaws. But that's why I'm saying that if you're gonna buy an MCU movie, or if you're gonna buy a ticket to an MCU movie, you know, don't buy it if you're gonna go in there to criticize it and to expect the Batman. Because you're not gonna get that. You're never gonna get that in an MCU movie. You're never gonna get that in an MCU movie. And I mean, that's what I have to say. And I'm fine with that. Especially, a lot of comic book fans are fine with that too, because we're used to that. Because, I mean, there's a shitload of comic books to read. And we said our favorite comic book is Mr. Miracle. It's my favorite comic book, Mr. Miracle.
Mine was too.
And The Watchmen.
The Watchmen.
And The Watchmen.
Watchmen film was great.
you know, if us comic book fans had the mindset of all these wannabe critics and like YouTube and TikTok and Letterboxd, we would literally trash on every single fucking comic book I have in here and over there. Why? Because if I had that mindset, every single time I bought a comic book, I would be like, oh my goodness, like I hope this comic book is on the realm of The Watchmen.
Mm-hmm.
I hope this comic book is as good as Mr. Miracle. I wouldn't like anything.
Yeah.
Because a lot of comic books are just good, are just fun to read. They're just, a lot of comic books is like, damn, this is an intriguing story. This is fun. I'm having fun reading this. That's the MCU.
Yeah.
That's the MCU. The MCU, you're just buying a ticket to follow a simple story. To not sometimes not, it's not really a simple story because some of them are really convoluted because the ideas of them. But like, you're just buying the ticket to have fun.
Yeah.
I'm just buying comic books because I love how much fun I have with them.
It's like stepping into Wonderland, you know.
Yeah.
Like you're reading it to not necessarily escape. I know there's a lot of people out there that read comics to escape, but it's kind of just it's a hobby. I really just, you're not going into it to get an Oscar-worthy New York Times nominated
Exactly.
writing, like.
You're just reading and have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing a lot of people criticize in the MCU is, oh, every MCU movie is just another rehash. It's the same. It's a rehash. That's the same thing with comic books. You know how many writers have rehashed freaking Born Again on Daredevil? How many writers that hopped on to Daredevil and just rewrote Born Again, but just them rehashing it?
Yeah.
A lot. I mean, almost every single Daredevil run has an arc that is literally Born Again. But we're fine. We love it. You know how many times Batman in the comic books has lost Gotham City to a villain? Every single run that happens. Almost every single run that happens. And you know what? We love it every single goddamn time. We love it every single time.
You know what? I forgot to add in that Daredevil is one of my favorites.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. You didn't even get to say what your favorite superhero was.
Oh yeah. Come back to me on that one. It's a lot of them.
You know how many times Spider-Man does something that makes so many people hate him in the comic books? A lot of times. But we love it. We love it.
Yeah.
But that's why comic books isn't for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why the MCU isn't for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why everybody hopping on to the MCU because
I also think just like comic book stories in general, like superhero fantasy, not everyone likes fantasy, but they only hop onto it because it's like an experience, but then it's not always going to be like that.
It's not always going to be like that.
Like it's like if all we had in this world was like Star Wars, Star Trek, and Lord of the Rings. Like not all of them are going to be like sci-fi. Lord of the Rings is all, you know, medieval and dark fantasy. The
amount of times Superman has been shot or hurt by kryptonite, but we still love it. The amount of times they fight Darkseid, but we still love it. The amount
of times we get a Batman vs Superman,
but we still love it.
Yeah.
You know, it's just the amount of times they collect the Infinity Stones, we still love it. Like it's for us. It's for us comic book fans, and that's why I'm saying that the MCU should have never been for everybody. But everybody hopped onto it because of the hype of Endgame and Infinity War. And luckily, I think at this rate, all those fans that hopped onto it because of Endgame and Infinity War are going to leave because it's not for them.
Yeah.
It's not for them.
Hopefully Marvel gets that idea. Hopefully they see that, like, they don't have to cater to that audience just because it's Disney Plus. Like, hopefully they realize that most fans that are watching are fans that are, you know, comic book readers, and they're not just like people that hopped on because it's Disneyland, you know, like, you know, just hopefully Marvel gets that idea, just like we know that DC is very aware, like it's kind of clear, like they don't say it, but we know that they're aware that like us fans are like wanting better material, that we're wanting certain material, and they're giving that to us.
The reason why DC movies aren't doing as good is because they don't really know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. But the thing is, like, they're giving us these like plans that we know are gonna take a while. We know we're not gonna see a good DC film in a couple years.
DC's issue was that they were so focused on Marvel instead of focusing on themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
That was DC's issue.
Like Black Adam was.
Black Adam was not it.
Not it. But I really like Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
What's his? Jared Leto Suicide Squad. No.
No, we're talking about
the newest one.
James Gunn's Suicide Squad.
Yeah, it's because of James Gunn. Guardians of the Galaxy is great. We love Guardians. But overall, I just hope that that Marvel gets that idea.
Yeah, like it's just, you know, as much as, if it wasn't for the hype of Endgame and Infinity War, Marvel would have gotten their money back from those two movies. But now it's just like, you know, for the people who have been hating Marvel, Phase 4 Marvel and Phase 5 Marvel. I didn't like Phase 4 Marvel, a lot of it, you know, but I was still buying every damn ticket because, you know,
supporting and
I love comic books.
Yeah.
I love Marvel. I love DC. I love DC more than Marvel, but I still love Marvel a shit ton. I'm not saying, you know, like, I have so much love for comic books, and like, I'm still gonna support them. Still gonna buy a ticket to their movies. Still gonna buy a ticket to the movies. The only one I didn't buy was Thor: Love and Thunder because comic book fans hated that movie. So I was like, I'm not gonna watch that movie.
And it ended up being true. Like, it wasn't that great.
Exactly. But I bought a ticket to Shang-Chi. I bought a ticket to Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness. You know, because at the end of the day, it's just like, I like these characters in the comic books. I like these characters in other MCU movies.
We saw No Way Home twice.
3 times.
3 times in theaters. 3 times?
I saw it 3 times.
I saw it twice, right? Or
Yeah, you saw it twice. I saw it 3 times.
Yeah.
I saw it the opening night. I saw it with my mom, and then I saw it when we went to San Diego.
Yep. Yeah.
Yep.
I'd say that was my favorite from all of Marvel so far right now.
No Way Home?
Yeah, No Way Home. And then Infinity War and Endgame. Definitely Captain, though. Yeah, that's a lot of other stuff. But, yeah.
Yeah, no, like, it's just... And then people were just trashing on the writing, when it's just like, Marvel hasn't had good writing ever since. They've never had good writing.
I don't think they've ever.
They've never had good writing.
No. I mean, the superhero stuff, I think it's really hard to have, like, great writing.
Unless you have 3 years to write the script.
Mm-hmm. A lot of revising, a lot of all that.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, for you people that expect the Batman for every single Marvel movie, we would have never gotten Infinity War and Endgame.
Mm-mm.
We would have never gotten it. Because Robert Downey Jr. would be too old.
Yeah.
Everybody we would have gotten too old. They would have gotten too old. Like, it's just, Marvel has to have quantity over quality to achieve those films. And if you really want those films to happen...
Quality over quantity.
Huh?
You said quantity over quality.
Oh, yeah. My bad. But, yeah.
That idea.
If you really want those Infinity War and Endgame movies, you have to accept that, you know. And when the movie is really utterly bad shit, like, oh my god, this is unwatchable, then that's when we can criticize Marvel.
Well,
but when the movie is fun,
yeah,
you know, and is a decent film, but a good fun comic book movie. And to me, that's what Antman was. Antman and Quantumania was just a good, fun comic book film.
Yeah. Like,
it was a good, fun comic. And like we said, it has a lot of issues. It has a lot of problems.
mm-hmm.
But us complaining about those problems it's pointless.
Mm-hmm.
Us complaining about those problems about a movie that Christopher Nolan made is not pointless because Christopher Nolan, why are you making these issues? You know, you're a top tier director that spends years to write this movie and to make it. This shouldn't be a thing.
Yeah.
You know, but when Marvel makes those issues, it's just like you can't, you know, pop a vein over it because they have to make these movies as soon as they can because actors are only getting older.
Yeah.
Actors are only getting older. This is not like in the comic books. They're just drawing. These are actual real life living people that are aging just like we are aging.
Yeah.
They need to get it done fast.
Yeah.
And I also have another thing to say. This also has to do with people complaining about like, oh, I didn't like Antman Quantumania because it's just a setup film.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of things to say about that. One, why are you complaining about that when you're complaining that you missed when the MCU was heading towards something? What do you want? What do you want? Okay, because we complained. We didn't like Phase 4 because Phase 4 was all over the place and wasn't leading up towards something. We get a movie that's a prologue to lead up to something, but you're gonna complain that it's a prologue leading to something when you were complaining that we weren't getting that Phase 4.
Mm-hmm.
Marvel needs this movie. You know, this movie needed to happen for Marvel to get their shit together.
Yeah.
You know, first of all, Marvel honestly should have taken a good long break after Endgame so they can figure out what they wanted to do. But instead they didn't, and they kept on going, and that's why I felt like they were all over the place because they didn't really know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, all right, we finished Endgame, what do we do now? Crap, let's just make a lot of movies, throw a lot of ideas on the board, and until we choose one, we choose one. They shouldn't have done that. They should have just taken a break, had a meeting, had a bunch of meetings a whole year, and be like, look, what are we doing? What's the next thing? What's the next thing? Anyways, going back to the thing. A lot of people, you know, about the whole thing about like, oh, it's just a prologue. Like, you wanted that in Phase 4, you got it, now you don't want it.
Yeah.
You know? And then going back to comparing it to comic books, Ant-Man and the Wasp and Quantumania, to me, was a prologue to an event comic book. Because in a lot of comic books, people know what I'm going to be talking about. In the comic books, when an event happens, there's sometimes like a 3-issue or like a 5-issue, a 6-issue series that's just a prologue to an event that's going to happen 2 years later.
Yeah.
That happens in the comic books. And us comic book fans, we still buy it because like, oh, I want to know what's going to happen 2 years from now. Mm-hmm. I want to know what this big event is that they're leading up to. Mm-hmm. That to me, that's what Quantumania was. Quantumania was those prologue comic books that is a prologue to the big event that's going to happen 5 years in the future or 2 years in the future. You know, that's what the road to Blackest Night, road to Flashpoint, road to Infinity Wars, road to this so and so. Like that's the thing in the comic books, and that's what Ant-Man and Quantumania was.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I just think overall, everyone at Marvel is just too scared to lose fans and lose the new fan base too fast.
Because it's a lot of money they're getting.
They're not releasing the things that they think they should be releasing in a certain amount of time. And so I just think that the quantity over quality is really important to them because they just feel like they're going to lose money if they don't release something every couple months. But yeah.
Yeah, I think they should. That's it's just Marvel before Endgame and Infinity War they were fine because they were only catering to a small group of people, which is kids and comic book geeks. But now they're catering to all of America. Mm-hmm. They're catering to all of America, and it's good for them because of money. But it's bad for them as of right now because they They don't know how to make their films. They don't know how to make their films and their TV shows because they're just like, shit, we gotta cater to the everyday man also.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, Marvel is just. I still loved No Way Home. I like Shang-Chi.
I like Shang-Chi.
I didn't like Multiverse of Madness.
No.
You know, I loved Antman and the Wasp, Quantumania. And like I said, just like comic books, you know, I even said it when I brought up Grant Morrison. There are some issues that I love, and there's some issues that I just didn't mess with, and that's completely fine.
Yeah.
That's completely fine. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot more things, but I'm just gonna be rambling.
Yeah, maybe we'll keep it to an hour and 30.
How long is this video now?
It's an hour and 32.
Okay. But yeah, no, it just. Yeah, so. To the new fans that hopped into Marvel because Endgame and Infinity War.
Don't expect too much.
Don't expect too much. You can't expect every single project to be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. You really can't. I mean, it's impossible.
Yeah.
It's impossible. Like I said before, Endgame and Infinity War. You know, there was a long gap between mid movies and really great movies, especially Phase 2.
What about the second Thor?
Oh yeah, Thor: The Dark World. You know, not a good movie.
I even didn't like it when it came out.
Didn't like it. Iron Man 2. It's really divisive. I still loved Iron Man 2.
Mm-hmm.
But just look at the gap. I mean, Phase 1. We all loved Iron Man 1 collectively. Captain America, the first Captain America. Some people, you know,
I loved Captain America.
Yeah, we still loved it, but it's still like a decent movie. Mm-hmm. First Thor, decent. Incredible Hulk, decent. And then Iron Man 2, you know, decent in my opinion. And then the first Avengers, amazing. Everybody loved it. After that, Iron Man 3, decent.
Yeah.
Winter Soldier, amazing. Everybody loved it. Everybody loved it. Thor: The Dark World, not good. And then Guardians of the Galaxy, everybody loved it. Amazing movie. Amazing. And then after that, Avengers, Age of Ultron,
yeah.
Decent. Antman, decent. Like, Marvel was never a critically acclaimed franchise. It was never, they just make decent movies. They just make decent movies, guys.
Yeah.
That's all they do. And rarely they come out with a collectively loved, you know, 9 out of 10 or 8 out of 10 film.
Yeah.
But in general, Marvel is always going to be that 6 out of 10 and 7 out of 10 franchise that we just love because we just love comic books.
Mm-hmm.
That's my opinion on it. I'm going to stop myself right there.
We have to save.
I'm going to stop myself right there. Tell me what you guys' opinions are. If you agree with what we said, you know, comment below. Tell us your opinion, even though you agree. If you disagree, comment below too. You know, I would love to talk about it. I mean,
comment below and
be nice about it. Don't be toxic. Don't be toxic because RC is just going to be blocked. And you're never going to be part of it because we want a good, respectful, kind audience and just community.
Just that everyone can talk.
Yeah, I mean that's what we're doing.
No
is we just want to create a community and connect with people.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm saying. You know, if you've been watching this and you've been wanting to say something, say it in the comments. Say anything as long as you're not a dick.
That's so bad wording. Just as long as you're not as negative. Honestly, I really don't think that we have the authority to control the way people act. Like, just act how you are, and if you're just not really fitting in with our audience, you know, we're just gonna ignore it. Bye.
Because we can do that.
Mm-hmm.
But thanks for watching, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy us,
we didn't even say the name of our podcast. We never said it.
I think I did.
I don't remember, but
it's our first one. We're Calamity Comics. I think I did. I think we did.
You didn't.
Yes, I did.
No.
We're gonna watch it when we're gonna see when we're edited. We're gonna see.
Thanks for listening in, watching Calamity Comics. I'm Malaya.
I am Gio.
And we really appreciate you sticking around for the whole hour and 36.
Hey, listen to it when you're at work. I do that. I listen to my podcasts at work.
Yeah, I listen to them when I'm just like doing homework and I need like something in the background. But
thank you for clicking on us.
Thanks for clicking. Thanks for listening.
We're gonna
try Sundays. We're gonna try.
We do Sundays, and we're gonna try to expand as much as we can. Put it in Apple Podcasts. Put it in Spotify Podcasts. Like we gotta do everything. We're gonna go ham.
Mm-hmm.
But thank you for listening to us, guys.
Thanks.
And let us know. And if we somehow get this on a podcast thing, like on Apple Podcasts and Spotify Podcasts, give us a rating. Give us a rating.
Yeah.
Give us a rating, comment on thing. You know, we want to expand. We want to expand. We want to communicate with you guys. That's all we want. Our goal is just to communicate and, just to build a community. A nice community. That's all we want.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for watching. And we'll catch you guys next Sunday, hopefully. Not hopefully, we will. We will. Peace out, guys.
Peace out.